All right, today we're going to demystify a piece of IT that is so often misunderstood, it's not even funny. The Configuration Management Database, or CMDB. We are going to pull back the curtain and see how the absolute best IT leaders turn this thing from a source of total chaos into their #1 strategic weapon.
So let me just start by asking you this. When you think about those huge, hairy, complex IT projects, what's the #1 thing that sends them off the rails? Is it the tech, the budget, the deadlines? Well, the real answer is something that gets overlooked all the time, and it all boils down to data.
And here's a number that should honestly just make you stop in your tracks. According to Gartner, a jaw-dropping 80% of CMDB projects fail to deliver any meaningful value. And listen, this isn't just about some software sitting unused on a server. This is a colossal waste of time, of money, and of human effort. So, if 4 out of every 5 of these projects end up as nothing more than expensive data graveyards, what's the secret of that top 20%? What are they doing so differently that makes them win? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out. We are diving deep into the playbook of the elite managers who nail this every single time.
Okay, first things first, we have to completely shift how we think about this. The managers who succeed, they don't see the CMDB as just another database collecting digital dust. No way. They see it for what it really can be, the hidden nerve center of the entire IT organization, a source of incredible, game-changing strategic advantage.
So what is this thing really? At its core, a CMDB tracks all of your IT stuff, your servers, your apps, your network gear, all of it. But here's the magic, okay? The real power, the secret sauce, is in the relationships. It's not just a list of things. It's a living, breathing map that shows you how everything is connected, how A depends on B and B depends on C. That is its superpower. And you can see that value pop up everywhere. A healthy CMDB isn't just for the ops guys. It drives big-picture strategic planning, giving you a clear map of your whole tech landscape. It lets you make smart money decisions by showing you exactly where the dollars are going. And yeah, of course, it completely supercharges your day-to-day operations, making everything from fixing outages to approving changes way, way faster and safer. But if it's so powerful, then why? Why that 80% failure rate? Well, this gets us to the absolute heart of the problem. It's a crisis of trust. Let's do a little autopsy here on why these projects go so wrong so often. This quote right here, it absolutely nails it. A CMDB you can't trust doesn't just fail to help you, it actively hurts you. It lies to you. It feeds you bad information, which, you guessed it, leads to terrible decisions. And pretty soon, nobody trusts it for anything. It becomes a source of dangerous misinformation. And this is what happens next. It's totally inevitable. When your people can't trust the data, they just stop using the system. It's that simple. They go back to what they know: spreadsheets, sticky notes, and what I like to call tribal knowledge. And the result? Changes fail, outages drag on forever, and that big, expensive system becomes a liability. The second killer is having no focus. A goal like, we're going to build a CMDB. That's not a business outcome. That's a task on a to-do list. The elite managers, they never do this. They start with a real-world problem like, we need to cut our change-related outages by 30%. Without that clear why, the whole project just sort of drifts off into oblivion. And finally, we have the deadly kitchen sink approach. You know this one. It's the temptation to track everything, to build this perfect, mythical, single source of truth that contains every bit of data imaginable. Let me tell you, this always backfires. You don't get a single source of truth, you get an unmanageable data swamp that's impossible to keep clean. The real secret is to be a surgeon. Only track the data that has a clear purpose and someone waiting to use it. Okay, so we've diagnosed the disease, right? We've seen the 3 big reasons for failure, but knowing the problem is only half the battle. Now let's talk about the cure. We're opening up the Elite Manager's Playbook, and it's a super clear 3-part strategy to turn all that chaos into real, actual control. And here they are, the 3 pillars of a successful transformation. It's so simple on the surface, but incredibly powerful when you put it into practice. First, govern first. Second, automate everything. And third, report for value. Let's break down how this works, 1 pillar at a time.
Pillar 1 is the foundation. You absolutely have to get this right before you do anything else. Before you buy a tool, before you write a line of code, you establish governance. That means figuring out who is responsible for what, often using a RACI matrix to make it crystal clear. You set standards for your data. You create real accountability with data owners who actually care. You have to treat the data in your CMDB like a critical product that your business depends on.
Pillar 2 is where we get real. You have to accept a simple truth. You cannot keep this data up to date manually. You just can't. It's impossible. The only way to have accurate data in today's constantly changing IT world is to automate how you collect it. The best managers use a mix of methods, calling APIs for cloud stuff, using agentless scanning on-prem, and deploying agents where they need deep detail to paint a complete, current picture without anyone having to lift a finger.
And the final pillar, report for value, this is all about communication. Because look, the benefits of a great CMDB aren't always obvious to the people holding the purse strings. Your job is to be a translator. You have to take that raw, technical data and turn it into a compelling story. A story about reducing risk, lowering costs, and improving the reliability of your services. That's the language leadership understands.
So, what's the big payoff here? When you actually do this, when you execute this playbook, you fundamentally change how your entire IT department works. You stop being reactive, constantly running around putting out fires, and you start making proactive, data-driven decisions.
I mean, the difference is just night and day. The old way is those endless war room calls, heroic guesswork, and those painful, slow change review meetings. The elite way, which is powered by a CMDB you can actually trust, means focused troubleshooting, seeing the impact of a change before you ever make it, and using data to approve changes automatically. The goal here is to make most of those agonizing meetings completely unnecessary. So how do you prove it's actually working? You measure what matters. This is basically a blueprint for the kinds of KPIs that top managers track. They measure the health of the data itself, sure, like CI completeness. But, and this is crucial, they tie that directly to business outcomes. Are our changes actually getting safer? Are we fixing things faster? Are we saving real money? These are the questions that get your leaders to sit up and pay attention.
And look, here's a perfect example of a health KPI in action. This one simple chart tells you a huge story. Right away, boom, you can see that 45% of our outdated, stale information is related to our servers. Just like that, you know exactly where to focus your cleanup efforts first. No guesswork needed.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like a huge, massive project, but the key is to not try to boil the ocean. You got to start small, get a win, and build momentum. So here's a super practical 90-day action plan you can use to get that first tangible win under your belt. Here's how you do it. In month 1, just pick one major pain point, like, say, failed server changes, and assign clear owners for only the most critical server data. That's it. Month 2, you deploy some targeted automation just for that data, and you build a simple dashboard to track its health. Then in month 3, you connect that data, which you can now trust, directly into your change management process, and you show the improvement. Proving that better data led to fewer failed changes is the exact success story you need to get the buy-in to do more. And really, this quote just brings it all home. That chronic, painful problem of having too many meetings in IT, it's not a culture problem, it's a data problem. The ultimate goal, the promised land, is to build a data ecosystem that's so trustworthy and so automated that you just don't need most of those meetings anymore. The data gives you the answers.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own organization. I want you to take a hard, honest look at your foundational IT data. Right now, is it an abandoned liability? Something that actually creates problems and slows you down? Or are you actively treating it like your strategic nerve center, the reliable foundation that's powering every important decision that you make?